All right, I think we might be live. I really am honestly not sure. I got to get on here and check. It has been so long since I've actually done one of these. It's kind of crazy. Turn that all the way down. Candy Mom, hello. Loves Pugs, hello. Kevin, Christine. This a little bit delayed here. Snow White cupcakes. Why would anyone stop going to Disney? That's a great question. That's a great question. Whew, boy, how is everybody? It has been, man, it's been so long since I've actually done a real kind of live stream. Obviously, I have tried to do some live stream runs occasionally. So, Eric, missed your cookie store reviews. I know, right? Pam, hello. Scott, Judy, Donald. Wow, I'm surprised that there's like this many people here just hanging out and chilling. So, I really want to do one of these. This is one thing that I have always, hello Sonia, I've always loved about YouTube is the ability to connect with everybody. I know it's not really one-on-one, but it is kind of like this just cool thing that as a creator, you get to connect with so many people, and they're not just people who live around you. You know, it's like everybody from sometimes all over the world, and it's just so cool. And I love this, and I've missed being able to do this, and hopefully going forward we'll start kind of maybe doing these more often. Dare I say once a week, but we'll kind of see how things go for us. So yeah, what's new everybody? How we doing? It's been so long. I think the last time I did a live stream obviously was I did a 10K around Boardwalk a couple weeks ago. Our friends Alan and Lisa were in town after our group cruise, family/friends group cruise, right, which was so much fun. And I'm working on the videos to get those out. Hopefully next week we'll see all of that stuff come through. And that was the last time I did a live stream, and we haven't really done one of these, you know. And we've never been like a live streaming channel. Obviously, I think everybody knows that. Dominic, hey man, how are you? We are good. We are busy. I was hoping Taylor would be here kind of like for our first kind of live stream, but unfortunately, her work schedule doesn't always allow to be so flexible as I'm able to be. So, but nonetheless, in the next one, Taylor will be around, I'm sure. So we've got a lot of cool stuff planned and coming up, and super excited. But yeah, the last that's one thing that I love about marathon weekend. Even though I was going to take next year off, and that's totally out of the books, or it's on the books, it's confirmed. So I'll be here for marathon weekend next year. But that's one thing that I've always loved about it is it's giving you the opportunity to see what's happening, and hopefully, you know, if you've got anxiety or you're afraid, hopefully it'll ease some of those feelings for you as you know, as you get to watch and hang out. But it's also just great for me to be able to connect and talk to people, because I love that. I love this aspect of just being able to communicate. And you can ask questions and say hello, and I can say hello back. And granted, I know that most of you, we've never really met in person, or if we have, it's just been in passing for like 30 seconds. But we do really, truly value everybody who shows up and talks and chats and asks questions and everything else. So Joey, BLS, John King, Nick, Scott, Eden, Donald. Wow, awesome to have everybody here. This is really great. So yeah, tonight's live stream, I started a little bit early because I was really nervous, first and foremost, which I feel like I shouldn't be. But you know, it's like this thing I haven't done in so long, and hooking up all the stuff to do it. And you know, I've got a new setup now. I went back from, if you guys don't know, which there's no reason for you to know, because it's not like we like talk about it like it's something to talk about, but for the longest time I used to edit everything on an iMac, and my iMac slowly started to slow down. Hold on, I gotta close the door because Sully just came in. I don't want you to hear the air conditioner going off. But for the longest time, I always edited with an iMac, and I just felt like it just wasn't working. I felt like I spent too much money on it to not function properly. So I actually switched to a PC. I built a computer, not personally, but like I had it designed, and they sent it to me, and it was working pretty well. Taylor was using the iMac, and then the iMac was slowing down for her to just edit photos. So I gave her my PC, we sold the iMac, and I bought a new PC tower, and I built that one as well. And I really like spent the money on it, thinking like this is gonna be great and awesome. And oh, Pam, maybe because a Ronto wrap dropped? No, that was on Taylor's MacBook Air, which we still have. I actually was gonna turn it on the other day, but I haven't yet. But that was on the laptop, Taylor's laptop. But I bought this new PC thinking like it was gonna be great and awesome. I didn't max it out, but I splurged a little bit on it, and it just was the worst. And I've gotten so used to using Premiere Pro, and Premiere Pro just would not function with this PC. And you know, it's got enough to do everything that it should be able to do without any issues, and has too many issues. So I went back to a Mac. I actually ended up buying a MacBook Pro. So if anybody wants a PC, I am willing to sell it and ship it to you, because I got to get rid of it. We're not going to use it. Katelynne, hello. But I've gone back to Mac, and you know, it's when you go back from PC to Mac, it's kind of like riding a bike that you haven't ridden in a while. You know, you got to get used to stuff. So we started the stream a little bit early. I'm probably only going to run for like maybe an hour tonight. I don't really want to go anything longer than that. Maybe we won't go that long because again, it's been like my first time doing this. Surf Bomb, what's going on, man? How are you? But I really wanted to kind of like clear the air a little bit. Not that I think that, I guess maybe we don't necessarily have to, but I think it's just kind of nice because we have been like getting some messages and emails about it and asking like what the heck's going on. We actually, back in November, I think it was. So this was like before everything changed. We were at an event with our friends, the Magic Dads, over at the Waldorf Astoria, and what's the other one? They keep changing the name, Signia. And we were there for like their, kind of like their wine, food and wine event. And Dev was there, and he was asking us some questions, and we were talking a little bit, and he was just like, you know, you guys don't like post that much anymore. And to be honest with you, there is like, we don't ever talk about this because I don't really feel like I should air this out on YouTube, but I mean, everybody else has done it, so I'll just, you know, climb on board and do it too. But it is really stressful to try to create content that's very unique and special to you, but is also that you feels like worth watching and all this stuff. And like the past like year, I think Taylor could vouch for this. I was hoping she'd be here because then she could really tell you how crazy I've gotten a little bit with it. But like, there were just times where I was getting not necessarily overwhelmed, but just underwhelmed with myself, I think, and really wanting to step away from Disney because Disney's awesome, right? We love Disney. We'll always continue to go back to Disney every so often. At this point, we're on track to do about once a month. If you like look at like the last like several months, well, maybe more than that, a couple times a month, but really not anywhere near what we used to go and experience Disney. And we love Disney. It's awesome. It's great. But at the end of the day, there's just this difference between going to Epcot and walking through World Showcase and going to those real countries and being able to walk through them. And the prices of Disney have just skyrocketed, man. Like, they are going out of control. You know, and I think everybody could agree with me on that. That Disney has just been crazy, crazy, crazy. So, you know, I think a lot of times there's, you know, everybody else, there's nothing, you know, I don't discourage you from going to Disney because of that, or because of any of the other changes or things that they've made. But for us personally, there's like so much more to see in the world that we really want to start focusing on being able to do that and sharing those experiences, you know. So Scott, The last time my wife and I saw you and Taylor was at the opening of Citrico's. Oh, cool, yeah. Citrico's was really good. We would go back there again, for sure. Absolutely. I'm really waiting for Narcoossee's to kind of like finish their revamp that they're doing. We actually have a wedding that we are doing next month. It's at the Grand Floridian. And they are just like, they're getting a little stressed because of all the construction that's going on over there. And, you know, which is, as a couple, you don't want walls up all over the place and obstructing views of the castle and everything else. But unfortunately with Disney, construction will never end. So, but you know, that's one thing I think they were hoping that they would have Narcoossee's to do some photos with, especially like on that outer, what do you want to call it? It's not a balcony, but the outer walkway there, I guess you could say the boardwalk-ish area. And that's probably just not going to happen, which is unfortunate. But I would love for Narcoossee's to come back open, because that is actually one place I always really enjoyed going to eat. So, Ryan, good evening. Enjoyed saying hi at Marathon Weekend on the course. Ryan, yes, thank you for saying hello. I'll be honest, I really don't remember some of that stuff. I just kind of started to block out after a while, right? Especially on the marathon. Like during the marathon course, you like talk to people, and then you just really start to kind of like focus on getting to the end. You know what I mean? You got to get to that finish line. So especially for me, because I did not have time to train whatsoever, which was awful, but you know, we made it work. So bonjour, Josh. Hope you guys will be coming in to Quebec. Wow, Quebec. Yeah, we could definitely do that. We are actually talking about Canada. I've been wanting to like hit the East Coast, going up that way, but it's possible. It's possible. If you have some recommendations, please shoot them our way. We will absolutely consider those. Oh, somebody knocking at our door? No. You might hear Jazzy out there barking. Yet you're still running their runs. I don't know what that means. Donald, thus the name change. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that, kind of like the name change thing. So, you know, if you don't know, you can absolutely go and search it on YouTube because we didn't take it down. But we actually started a second channel. We started a second channel like back in like October maybe. It was when we went to Georgia and did some stuff. And we had a great time, but the reality is like that was also part of like this craziness that we had going on. It was mostly me, it wasn't really Taylor. But it was like this thing of like, I want to be able to do stuff without like strings attached to Disney. And so we started it and we posted 2 videos. One was like an old video, kind of like a recap of some other things, but it just was like, at the end of the day, it was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to maintain 2 channels and post quality content that I'm going to want to post and do. So it was just, it came to like this point where, what was it, like last month, I was just like, you know what, enough's enough. It's time to just like make the change and we'll deal with it and run with it. So, not that like, I think many people, when they see us, right, and they ask like, if somebody, for example, on a cruise ship sees us vlogging and they like ask, oh, what's your channel name? And we say the WDW couple, 90% of those people have no idea what that means. So, which is, in a sense, is kind of okay, because it doesn't necessarily mean that we're tied directly to Disney, but it's also kind of like a mouthful to say sometimes. WDW or WWW, that's what we hear people say the most. So, just trying to find something I think that was just more unique to us and personal to us. And hopefully you guys have watched all of the past videos from this past year. I know that I said like I've had like this crisis of posting and creating content and things like that, which is so ironic to say when we did the most amount of traveling that we've ever done last year. But I think we did so much traveling that was not Disney stuff that just added fuel to the flames of trying to like figure out what the heck we were going to do. So I think that the name change is well worth it, and you know, hopefully everybody sticks around for it. If you just wanted this to be Disney, we have got some amazing friends who still do really great Disney content, and if for some reason you haven't checked them out yet, you should definitely go do so. So, you know, Nate, Jackie, Dev, Michael, everybody, you know, Magic Dads, great people, always still posting some great content. So, but yeah. So, are you guys really done with going to Disney? So, no, I mean, of course we're not really done going to Disney. Listen, we live like 15 minutes down the road from Disney, but the point is that like we live 15 minutes from Disney and still can't find time to get to Disney. Or if we go to Disney, what I've been finding like us doing a lot more is just we go in and like just try to enjoy the atmosphere and everything that's happening and going on. So I'll bring a camera. Like, I mean, obviously we were just in Disney. I posted a video from, it's like Festival of the Arts and Moonlight Magic, Festival of the Arts with For Love of the Mouse, who just got off of The Wish. And hopefully we'll be able to do a little live stream for you guys, a little kind of comparison, because we did The Wish at the beginning. They just got off The Wish. There's been some changes. So, you know, it's the fact that like when we go, I find it so difficult to make videos because I feel like they're just not as unique. It's kind of like just the regurgitation of everything else that everybody else is doing. And I just really want stuff to be more, I think, personalized to us and our experiences, you know? Not that like when we go on a cruise or travel to London or do a river cruise or whatever, oh my gosh, my nose is itchy, sorry. That like other people aren't doing those things, but to me it just feels like those experiences are just so much more unique and different that I enjoy it so much more editing and cutting it together and exploring like how we're going to tell the story of like what's going on and what's happening. So, which speaking of like, we just got off the Oasis, right? I said this at the beginning of the stream. If you don't know, we booked a crew, kind of like a group cruise, so to speak, with my family. They have not been on a cruise in like a long time. The first cruise that they went on, Taylor and I actually took them on the Disney Fantasy, and they had a wonderful time. And my mom has been wanting to get back on a cruise because it was just so relaxing and chill, you know? There's like, you don't have to worry about like cooking or going someplace, driving a car around, you know, the ship takes you where you need to go. You only unpack once. So, of course, some amazing friends of ours from past group events found out that we were doing that. They decided to come along too, which was awesome. We had a great time. But even that, like, you know, I am really struggling to create videos from it just because I did not vlog anywhere near as much as we normally would have on the ship, because I was just really enjoying that time with my family and then also with our friends. So, you know, we've got a cruise next week that we're doing, and that should be far more vlog intensive because it's just Taylor and I, and we can kind of just focus on us and the experience and what's happening, what's going on. But still lots of like great stuff to come from that. So yeah, it's just, you know, we'll still be going to Disney. You know, here, I'll put this out there for you, right? So we changed our name, which I think is fine, right? But we actually just got invited to go to the opening of Flower and Garden Festival. So Disney invited us to go. I'm assuming maybe they probably asked Nate and Jackie and all them to go first, and maybe they're busy and they can't go. So we were kind of like, you know, the B team to kind of come in and check it out. But I love Flower and Garden Festival. It's my favorite festival. So we'll be going to that since they invited us to go out and do it. And I think they're providing us with like a gift card to use and something else. But here's the thing, and this is one thing that I've always really loved about the videos that we do make. When we make them, when we get invited to stuff, all of our opinions are still our own opinions, right? Who was it that said about missing the cookie stroll videos, right? We got invited to go, what was that, a couple years ago, to do like this media thing. Nate was there. I think Jackie was there for like the Festival of the Holidays, and the VP or whatever of Epcot came over and talked to us, and he was like, I watched your cookie video and we made like changes. I went right back out, I'm pretty sure, and threw cookies in the trash can. So my opinions are our own, and they will be honest and real. But I love Flower and Garden Festival, so that is something that like we will absolutely be at, whether we're invited or not invited. We will find time to be there for that festival, and hopefully multiple times, because like I said, it's my favorite. Love going. Can't wait to do it. So Let's see. Paige, hello. Paige, when are you putting the new map up behind you? Yeah, so I've got like this really crappy map. Like it's like reflective, right? Because of like the material. It's glossy. We have some pins in it, but it's just like a regular map that I ordered on Amazon, and it like was supposed to come in a roll, because that's how maps should be, is rolled. And as you can see, there are definitely creases in it because it was not put into like a tube. So it's all like crinkled and bent up. So we've got a brand new map coming. It's freaking enormous. It's going to take over basically this whole wall. So the setup that I have right now will have to shift a little bit so that the map will be behind us. But that comes on Monday, which I'm super excited for, to get it up and on the wall. And I think if you look, maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't want you to be distracted by it by the whole time, but is it this side? I'm on such a delay. Yeah, this is where the light's at. It's actually not level. And I don't know why, I don't know. I tried. So this new map 100% has to be level. But the map that we got is thanks to Katelynne and Tyler, who I saw were in the chat there for a little bit. She got one for Christmas, and I was like, oh, guys, I love that map. I want to get one. So we've got this, like, it's like a 40 by, like, 60 or something like that. It's huge, and it's going to take the whole wall. And it's a push pin map. So it's super cool. So it comes with some push pins. You can customize it a little bit. It'll say, you know, travel with Josh and Taylor on it. Not that you'll be able to see that in the videos, but we've got it so that it's a little bit more blown up. I don't think you can probably see these, like the little push pins that we have in the map right now, but we do have some different colors on them, like where we've been. And of course, as we continue to go to new places, we'll be able to add those in there. So, for the love of the mouse, it's Crystal and Bryson. Yes, Crystal and Bryson. She had an awesome like costume going for Festival of the Arts. And yeah, they just got off the Wish. They posted their first video. Bryson, I don't think I saw if you posted the next one yet, but definitely go check it out. Their experience is night and day different than what we had on the Wish back in August. So night and day difference, which I can't wait to kind of like converse with and chat about and talk. So Ashley, hello from New Mexico. Love watching. Thanks for being here and hanging out. Amy, still love the fact that you tell the truth on how you feel about things. I mean, it's like, I appreciate the invite, but at the end of the day, if I don't like something, I think that I still need to be honest with everybody and let them know that, you know, hey, this is great, but here's something you should watch out for, or don't spend the money on these cookies, right? So what is the, I forget, does anybody remember what the stroll is for Flower and Garden Festival? Is it like vegetarian, like vegan options? I'm trying to remember what it is. The fromage, whatever cheese is wine and dine. So I will probably end up trying to do that as well. We'll see. So Lisa Briggs, hello from England. Hello, it is late over there. Boy, oh boy, Lisa, it's after midnight over there. It's like 12:15. What are you doing? Staying up late, I guess, huh? Magic in Michigan. Truth is the best, and the videos that are just sunshine and rainbows get old. Yeah. So, and I've always like, it's funny because I kind of see that sometimes, that like rainbows and butterflies all the time, especially at Disney, does get really old. Because I just don't think you're being honest. I think you're drinking a little too much Kool-Aid. So a little bit of criticism here and there is always good. So Joey, will you guys still be doing dining reviews? Okay, let's talk about dining reviews. When it comes to the channel, when we first started our channel, we were trying to find something that we could do consistently every single week, and it would force us to go out and do something. The absolute worst mistake that we ever made was starting dining reviews. And that's because they are super expensive, especially when you talk about like YouTube revenue and what you're spending and everything else that you're spending it on. They're really expensive. And not that like, I'm not saying that, like, don't think that I'm saying that as like a, I don't know. Like, some people sometimes get really upset when we're like, oh, well, we're going to Bull and Bear, but we're not complaining about the price. We know it's expensive. But they're expensive, and I think for the most part, people really enjoyed them. They were doing really well. But here's the thing. When you go in and sit down in a restaurant, if you want good like video quality, you have to use a real camera, like a full frame camera with a good lens on it, so that it's not like super kind of like noisy or soft and not really sharp. So you have to use a good camera, and it's a bigger camera. And I think that like after a while, it stopped being enjoyable for us to just be able to eat our food, and it just wasn't working. So I know Taylor really still liked to do them. Will they happen? Will they come back? Yeah, sure, of course. Like occasionally we will still do a dining review here and there. We might do one on our cruise next week that we're doing, where you have a specialty dining that we pre-purchased. So we might do one in there. It's just that like, I'm trying to really start focusing on making some longer style videos into like, to make a dining review. And let's be honest, to make a dining review, in all honesty, should not be ever, in my opinion, more than like 5 minutes. It should not take you more than 5 minutes to like describe what you're eating, what the taste of it is like, would you get it again, what would you change? I don't think it should be longer than that. I think everybody else that makes these videos, I think they're just too drawn out. So we'll see. Will it happen? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to say that they'll never happen again, but you know, for us, it's just, now it's really nice when we go in and sit down to eat somewhere, we don't have to worry about like capturing everything, every single second of the meal, and we can just eat the food. And we can eat the food when it's warm instead of eating it when it's cold, because sometimes that's what happens. So are they gone forever? No, they're not gone forever. But Christian, you guys make great videos. We love watching them. Either way, we'll continue watching, even if it's not just Disney-related videos. Thank you. We appreciate that a lot. That is really important to us. That you know, I mean, it is, and I appreciate that. So, Kimberly, have y'all thought about RV traveling a little? The Ford is amazing. I have been trying to convince Taylor to do RV travel for like years. I have a very like free like spirit, so to speak. I could, if it wasn't for Taylor, if Taylor and I weren't married, let's just play a hypothetical here. If Taylor and I weren't married and we were, I don't know, somehow my path ended up going into YouTube, I would bet that you would see me more as somebody who like just backpacks and just literally just like backpacks and like stays in hostels or like does stuff like really cheap but gets to see a lot of different things. I've been trying to convince Taylor to do something like that, but the idea of staying in a hotel that's like 25 bucks, which is not a hotel, usually it's like a motel or a hostel, doesn't really appetize her. And I don't blame her for that. But I would love to do RV travel. We might at some point like rent one for like a long week and drive it around or do it out west or something like that. We'll see. But that's definitely like in the realm of possibilities, especially for our channel and the direction that it's taking. So really we're trying to like hit some international stuff, but also there's just a plethora of things to be able to experience and see here in the States. So it could happen, you know, it could happen this year actually. We've got several things that I'm working on and in the books, which I won't share here. We share all of that stuff kind of like on our Patreon page, which we've been uploading a lot of stuff for them and doing some different things. So they'll find out about that way before the general population does, but it's definitely there. Like it will, I'm not gonna say RV will happen this year, but it could, maybe towards the end of the year, we'll see. So, Katelynne, we have some good adventures that we have shared. I'm assuming that's going back to Amy and Val, because so Amy in the chat and For Love of the Mouse has not been on a group cruise yet, but they are going in August. Val has been on the group stuff, and it's been awesome. Katelynne's been on there. Let's see, what else we got? Paul, y'all helped plan our whole eating regime last time we were there, mostly due to your honesty, and I appreciate that. I forgot. Oh, Taylor's calling me right now. Hold on a second. Let's answer the phone. I'm not going to put it on speakerphone just in case she says something that she might regret saying. So I'm live streaming right now and everybody can. So yeah. You're all right. Okay. All right. Love you. So she is she's on her way. On her way home. Um, yeah, so helping you plan like your whole regime, I'm assuming as far as like dining goes and stuff like that. And I appreciate that. I'm glad that it helps. But again, it's just like that was another thing that I really struggled with is like I felt like a lot of people maybe wanted to watch longer videos of stuff, but I felt like some of them were just too much fluff. Especially with dining reviews. I just felt like they should only be like maybe 5 minutes long because it's just kind of like to the point, right? Like, here's what the restaurant looks like. Here's what we've ordered. And the other thing too is that like Taylor really likes to eat steak. I try not to make very much steak at home because when we go out to eat, she wants to get a steak. And it's not very, like different if every time we go out to eat at a sit-down restaurant, Taylor gets a steak. I always try to get something different, but I'm not going to force Taylor to eat something different because we're paying for our meal. And we want to sit down and be able to enjoy it. And I don't want Taylor to get something that she's not going to enjoy and then be like, oh, I wish I would have got a steak, right? So, but yes, I'm sure like we'll have some that pop up every now and again. So, let's see what else we got here. RV travel is getting old too. RV travel is getting old. It's not getting old for people who haven't done it yet. But I do agree. I'm sure that like RV travel in a sense has like blown up probably over COVID, right? Coming out of that, because like in the States, like the only thing you could do as far as like travel was just get an RV and go to the state parks or the national parks and camp out. But maybe we won't do this year. Maybe we'll wait another year and let everybody kind of like forget about it and come back to it. Tread lightly, Josh. I'm not sure what that means, but I will do my best. Candy Mom, I can see Josh backpacking across the world. Absolutely. I would love that. And I keep trying to get Taylor to do that. We're working on some trips. And every so often I'll like float the idea out there. Like, maybe what if we just like took backpacks and only what we could carry in our backpacks and like that was it? What do you think? Maybe could we do it? Could we not do it? So we actually have two backpacks that we bought. So just a little background for you guys. If I don't break Sully's feet from stepping on him because he keeps getting at my feet. Last year, we were planning to go to, fly into, Amsterdam, right, I think? And then we were going to go up into Norway. And we were literally just going to take basically backpacks, like packing, hiking backpacks. I think they're like 60 liters or something like that. Like they're pretty big. And Taylor needed to renew her passport, which never came in the mail. We called the State Department and they said that it did. We said it did not. So they told us that we would have to reapply from scratch for her to get a new passport. So she did that, did not come in time. The State Department actually sent us her passport and then sent us some girl's passport who we don't even know who it was. But we've got backpacks. We got to get put used to them. So I think at some point, Copenhagen to Germany. Taylor's popping in the chat before she drives. Yeah. No. Wait. Copenhagen to Germany? Maybe that is what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to go south because Taylor wanted to see northern lights and stuff like that. But at the time, it looked like, I think we were looking at the schedule and people were saying like, it's probably not going to be the best time. You really need to come more in the winter time. So yeah, maybe we were going to go down to Germany. But nonetheless, it could still happen. So I don't put anything off the books at this point. When we're like looking at what we're going to do for the rest of the year, we would love to try and do something every single month. Obviously, like that's not always possible, but we're going to try and do that. So, we'll see. Kevin, unfortunately, right now you can't film in national parks. That's not true at all, actually. As long as it's YouTube stuff, you are 100% able to do that. I know what you're talking about. I think you're referring to like something where like somebody was upset and they reported it, but like nobody's going to stop you from recording in the national parks. I'm not normally somebody who likes to break the rules, but I'm going to national parks it's out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, nobody's going to tell me to not be able to record. So, and I think you could probably easily fight that really, really easily. So we actually did all of that. We recorded all that stuff when we did our California trip. What was that, last year? I guess it was 2021, so it's been a while now. But Copenhagen, yeah, Pam knows what I was talking about because that's what we told her about it. So Penny, not to get personal, but how are you able to travel so much? That's a great question. So for me, what's really great is that, which is also kind of like a double-edged sword. So I have, for like the last kind of like year, been working from home. I left like my regular 9-to-5 job during COVID. They let me go because of like COVID related stuff. And then they asked me to come back. And I said, I will only come back with certain stipulations, which you must meet, which kind of just helped with the schedule that we were kind of running with at the time. And I did that for a while. And then eventually I was just like, I'm kind of done doing this. This other stuff is what I'm really focused on and love. So that's what I started doing. So we've been doing YouTube. We have our JTR Media business, which is photography and videography, which helps bring in some income. And then, of course, we also co-own a travel agency. So Pam, who is in the chat, is our, I really always say like she is the actual owner, and she's kind of brought us up under her wing. But we have, I think, in a lot of ways, really helped the agency to grow tenfold. And our agency does really well. So we plan trips to Walt Disney World. We are a gold earmarked travel agency, which means that like we know what we're talking about, we know what we're doing, and we can help you get the best trip possible. And we do other stuff besides Disney. So we do cruises and all-inclusives, tours. I mean, really, there's no really kind of like cap on the box, right? There's no lid. Like it's open. We can do all kinds of different things. So my schedule is super, super flexible. Taylor is a nurse, and she's able to basically work her schedule almost as flexible as I'm able to work my schedule, but not quite. So that's why we're able to travel as much as we do. And, you know, it's not something that I think we're ever going to stop. We're going to try and continue to do that because it's important to us to share those experiences, you know, not only for us, right? Like, it's just fun, but also those are things that like help us to market our agency as well, which is Gold Girl Getaways. So whether you have big kids, small kids, or no kids at all, we can help you plan your next Disney vacation. So you can head on over to goldgirlgetaways.com. I'm not sure if it's in the description because when they do these live streams sometimes and I have to set them up on StreamYard, sometimes things get missed. So I can actually check right now. Is it in there? It's not in there, I don't think. So yeah. Oh wait. Yeah, it's in there. It's like basic stuff. So okay, yeah. So it's on there. But yeah, so that's how we do that. So this year, and what's kind of cool is that like having the name change for me has really energized me into doing a lot more stuff than I think I would have been like accustomed to doing before. So, you know, I'd love to like start writing some articles for our website again and sharing some more just kind of like detail stuff, right? So the channel as a whole is always going to be doing some travel vlogs and those experiences, but it'll also be kind of recounting like past trips and really breaking those things down of like what we liked and what we didn't like, what surprised us, what didn't surprise us. Should you do this cruise or that cruise? You know, is a Caribbean cruise for you, or is, you know, an Alaskan cruise for you, or should you take a cruise, an Alaskan cruise on Disney, or should you do it on Celebrity or, well, you know, like all of these things, like, is for me is I'm finding to be a lot more enjoyable than always trying to like come up with a regurgitation of like Disney content. So, not that everything else isn't also regurgitated by somebody else, but you know. So, hello, Sandy. James, great question. Would you do other river cruises or other river cruise brands like Viking or their ships out on the Great Lakes? So that's a great question. If you don't know, there's actually quite a few different river cruises that come through the United States. So Viking's one of them. There's actually like a steamboat cruise that goes up the Mississippi that you can do. Pam's always like, she's always saying like she wants to do it, but I think she's always like I think she's kind of like, come on, don't you want to do it too? And I'm kind of like, I don't know, we'll see, maybe we'll see if it works. I don't know, but I would love to try some other stuff, and I'm totally open to really trying anything. The best cruise was probably that river cruise that we did over in Germany from Switzerland. It was mostly Germany, but we left from Switzerland and went all the way up to Amsterdam. So, Amsterdam. And I would encourage you that if you have not watched those videos yet, or you're thinking about it, yes, they are a little bit more expensive, but these are like, when you talk about an all-inclusive cruise vacation, these are really, truly all-inclusive. There are still some add-ons that you can do, but you know, you get on the ship, all of your food's included. You have alcohol, or you have wine and beer served at lunch and dinner. It's unlimited, and they make sure that you know that, because as soon as you take a little sip, they come right back over and they top it off. Entertainment, your tours are included, so you don't have to pay extra for those. They do have some tours that are an additional cost, like if you want to do 2 in one day, or I think even some of them, like throughout the summertime, there's like 3 in a day. It's crazy. But they are really, truly like this super relaxing, but awesome, like culturally like involved trip. And depending on the cruise line that you go on, you won't see any kids. If you're a family, there are definitely some river cruise options out there, but it was really cool. And I would love to do it again. I would love to try Viking. Viking is a little bit up there in the price, so it might be a little bit out of reach for us, but we'll see. You never know. You know, we might get to that point, and we'll do it. So New Orleans sounds perfect. Is that the steamboat cruise I think you're talking about? So Sandy, yeah, that steamboat cruise looks very American. Very American. I don't know how, what is that? I don't know. What's American? So an airfare tips video could be good. Tough to find good deals now. Just getting to Europe and back is big bucks. So I will share a little tip with you. And this is normally how this is how I planned our trip last year, which didn't come to fruition because Taylor didn't have a passport, so we couldn't go and we had to cancel. But this is how all of the trips that we're working on this year, this is how I planned those trips. And that is, I go into like Google Flights or something like that, and I just look for the cheapest flights and where they're going to. And that helps to save a lot of money, because a lot of times what people do is they think, oh, I want to go to, like, let's say Europe, and because you've seen something on Instagram or you've seen something on TikTok or Facebook, and it's like an event or something that's happening, it's a larger event. When you try to go to something like that, that's very specific, the flights will tend to be really expensive. But if you can plan a trip around the price of your airfare tickets, you don't really get a choice, so to speak, as far as like when you go, but you can definitely save yourself a lot of money as far as airfare goes. So that's my tip to you. So like when we were looking at those flights last year to go to Copenhagen, I was just like kind of flipping through their calendar of dates and pricing, and it just came out that like in May, between, I don't know, like the 21st and let's say like the 29th or something, I don't remember the exact dates, were they were super cheap. Like it was like $500 for Taylor and I to get there round trip back and forth. So that's how we started playing it out. And then when you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, now we have extra money for, let's say maybe we splurge a little bit on a hotel or on dining, or you know, maybe we do book some type of tour while we're over there. So that's my tip to you guys. And I have a whole big video plan that I'm going to go through on our Patreon page of like just walking people through like how we really get down to the details of doing that. So, because I love that. Planning that trip to Copenhagen was awesome, and it was super devastating when it wasn't able to come to fruition. So, but yeah. So, Mike in Jersey, it's your fault we're now booked on a Christmas Markets River Cruise on the Rhine with Viking. We will be rewatching your Christmas market vlogs. Mike in Jersey, why didn't you book it through us? Missed opportunity. We would have set you like some nice little care stuff and maybe even done some other special things for you. But yeah, keep us in mind the next time. Like if you want to book something, keep us in mind. It does not cost you anything extra. Doesn't cost you anything extra. I promise. The price that I will give you will more than likely be the exact same price on the consumer website. Sometimes I might be able to get a little bit cheaper, but you never know. So keep us in mind the next time. Keep us in mind the next time. Transfer. Oh yeah, you might be able to transfer it depending on when you booked it. But John King, go to NOLA. Just don't do it in the summertime. Well, we live in Florida, so I know NOLA would be pretty awful to go to. I've actually been to New Orleans before. I was there for a day. Not even a day. I was there for like maybe 6 hours. It was part of a work trip. It was at the end of the work trip. We flew into wherever, maybe Alabama, did some stuff up in Alabama, and then I think went down over to New Orleans or something. I don't know. Mississippi, somewhere over there. We ended up going to New Orleans. That's where we were flying out of. And we got to spend a day, 6 hours or so, walking around the streets. Not at night. It was during the day, so it wasn't even like real like crazy and lit and fun, but it was so cool to see him walk around. So Mike in Jersey, love the new direction of the channel, by the way. We're Disney locals that have been itching to branch out to new destinations. That's awesome. And that is, I think, ultimately, too, a really great goal for me is to try and show people that... thanks, Bryson. Love you, buddy. Is to really show people like there's just so much more to see out there besides Disney. And I love Disney. I'm not trashing Disney by any means. Disney's great. There is this magic and, dare I say, like cult-like following, religious. It's weird sometimes when you see some people and how just like into it that they are. But there's so many other like great destinations that you can go see around the world. You know, and some of them aren't even like that far away. But, you know, that's an ultimate goal for me. Is just, I'm glad that maybe, hopefully, well, it did. My goal was achieved. You helped to achieve that goal by kind of getting you to step outside of the Disney bubble. So, and I hope that we can do that for a bunch of other people as well, you know. So, whew, how we doing? We're still good on time. We're still good on time. So, love it. Taylor threw up the book your next vacation with us form. I don't always refer friends to travel agents, but when I do, it's Josh and Go Getaways. I love that. I love that. I don't always drink. What is that commercial? What is that? A Dos Equis? Is that a Dos Equis commercial? Is that what that is? I don't always drink beer or whatever, but when I do, it's a Dos Equis or something like that. So, love it. Paige is awesome. We got to meet Paige on our Alaskan cruise, but then it was so crazy that, like, out of the blue, our schedules just lined up miraculously. When we were on our river cruise, at the end, we were in Amsterdam, and she was in Amsterdam for work. And it was so crazy cool to, like, be able to just meet up at, like, not halfway around the world, but in a completely different place in the world, to just be able to meet up with somebody that we knew and see and chat for a while. And it was awesome. So cool. James, you made the right move. You're right. So yeah, I think so. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Obviously, I think everybody knows that we've got a group cruise coming up in August. I'm not really taking any more inquiries or reservations for that. I think the price is getting a little high for what we have booked because I don't have any more block rooms. Basically, anything that I don't sell, Norwegian comes back in and they swoop them up, right, so that they can start selling them as well. So, but we do have an awesome, listen, I say it's awesome. We haven't been there yet, but listen, the people who we cruise with are fantastic. They're amazing. They're awesome. I could not choose a better group of people to hang out with. We have become such great friends with them. You know, Paige is a prime example, right? We got to meet Paige in person, got to hang out there in Amsterdam. Val and Amy, you know, Bryson, he's still on the fence. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, it's awesome, and we've created such great memories with these people. So if you're thinking about wanting to kind of step out of the United States, you want to go on a cruise that's going to be awesome, relaxing, great. You're going to see amazing things. Like if you've done a Caribbean cruise before, okay, like Caribbean cruise is like child's play to this Northern European cruise that we're going to do on the PRIMA in July of 2024. So we're starting in Iceland. We're going to do Taylor and I might do a whole week in Iceland beforehand if we can manage it. I don't know if we'll be able to manage that, but if we can, we're going to try. But we're going to start in Iceland, and it goes up into Norway, makes its way back down, goes into Amsterdam, and actually finishes in Southampton, which they call London, which is kind of like calling Port Canaveral Orlando. So, but it's a great opportunity, really, truly is. If you're looking to like get out there and try something new, but you're afraid because you don't want to go by yourself, you want some people to cruise with, I promise you, our group of friends, because that's what they are to me, that's what they are to Taylor, like you guys are our friends, they will welcome you with open arms, truly. So we've had a fantastic time. It's been great. And, oh, I love it. Hey, Val, you still running dopey with me. Ha, ha, ha. That's so funny. So funny. So, but yeah, I would encourage you guys, you know, fill out the form. Let us know if you want to join us in Iceland. It is just, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Might get to see, I think, some killer whales. I think it's a great place to see them. Humpback whales as whale. Going to see some humpback whales as whales. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm getting hungry. So, oh, I love it. I love how Val kind of is almost kind of throwing me out there now. Josh booked it for us. Yeah, I did book a cruise for Val and Amy over New Year's. So, so if you guys do enjoy, like if anybody out there is like wants to see, you know, the future running videos coming up, I have no more running events for the rest of the year. Val thinks that apparently I'm going to start joining him on some. He keeps sending me marathons. I might do one, Val. I will. I will try to do one, but the schedule's just kind of hectic at the moment. So, yeah. So I have, just to give you guys kind of like an update, we've got Marathon Weekend next year, which is January 2024. I have also committed to doing Disneyland, which is kind of, it's a little unfortunate. Again, I don't like to say, I don't want to throw Disney out there and trash Disney, but they're really not handling the charities well at all for these events, which is, you know, it's really about the charities and trying to raise money for those and get their names out there. And Disney's like really doing them dirty right now. But they did not give out any charity bibs for the challenge in Disneyland, so I'll just be doing the half. But we're going to create a little custom vacation out of that as well, which we'll share at a later date once we get that all worked out and booked. And then, fingers crossed, I'll get a bib for Disneyland Paris in August, I think, of 2024. So we'll see if that happens. That would be absolutely amazing, and is the only reason I would probably go back to Disneyland Paris is to just do that run. So we spent, you know, a couple days there and it was great and fine, but not a park that I would go back to in the near future until like construction is completely done. So Katelynne, come on the group cruise, peeps. Yeah, seriously, it is, you will have a fantastic time. I promise you. You don't have to do everything that we're doing. You don't have to have a drink package and spend all your time at the bar having drinks with us. Not that we have problems, but you know, it's a nice place to just hang out, relax, chit chat, talk about things. You can do as many excursions as you want with us, or you can do whatever you want. We've had people who come on the group cruise and they meet up for the first day. They say hello, we talk a little bit, and then sometimes we don't see them again until the end of the cruise. And they still tell us how they had a great time all the same. So, but yeah, Josh, what is your hat and what's on the front? So this is actually a Disney hat. This is actually from Inside Out. So this is, it says like famous on it, but it has, I have to wait for like the delay. So now I'm going to, oh wait, no, I can look over here. It has, the Princess Unicorn from the movie. I got this hat years ago, actually. I think I got this like right after Inside Out came out, somewhere around there. So I love the hat. I just love that. Love the color. It's white, so I rarely wear it because I don't want it to get dirty. And it's just, I don't know, it's cool and different. And I've always been a sucker for that kind of stuff. So Val, blame Amy, not my fault for the cruise. That's okay. Michigan, Magic in Michigan. So what would that be on Iceland Air? Would that be on Iceland Air? What am I missing? Iceland Air. Iceland Air. So are you asking about airfare or how that works? You'd have to specify for me. If you're loving the mouse, enjoy the wonder of the seas, though. You and Amy will be missed at Marathon Weekend. They will be missed. Listen, everybody in the chat, Bryson still owes me a hurricane. I have still not gotten a hurricane yet. All right. Crystal and I completed the marathon last year, and there were no hurricanes at the end of that race. I was really sad. I was really upset. But hey, we could also use some volunteers. If you're going to be at marathon weekend, which I know like this is like so far out, and I'll bring it back up again. If you are going to be around, we could really use somebody in World Showcase when we come through the finish line to get us drinks. Obviously, we will 100% pay you for that. I would be glad to pay and buy you a drink as well. But it would be awesome to have somebody there who could stage drinks for us, because the lines are so long that it's like really inconvenient. I know that sounds like kind of rude maybe for me to say that it's inconvenient for me to get out of the race and go stand in the line, but it's just kind of inconvenient when you're running a race and you want to get to the finish line to have to stop and stand in the line for like 20 minutes and your legs get all iced up. So that would be awesome. Desiree Hall, oh, thank you for 99 cents. Thank you so much. Right, for the cruise next year, how to get there and back, we are interested. So yeah, so that's a great question. Really, if you do, so let's go back to the group cruise real quick. We still have a few minutes here. With my block of rooms that I got, there is buy one, get one airfare through Norwegian Cruise Line. And so what that means is that you pay one price and they will handle all of your airfare bookings for you. And the way that Norwegian has told me that this works is that they do, you can have up to 2 connections, no more than that. And you don't get a pick of like whether you're in coach or first class or anything like that. You'll be in coach, I promise you. You probably will be at the back of the plane, but it's dirt cheap. For us to fly this year from Miami to, or actually I think MCO, so to fly from Orlando to Barcelona, and then to fly from the end of the cruise, which is like Italy somewhere. Where are we ending at, guys? To fly from there back to MCO is only, I think, like $1,400 for Taylor and I. Round trip, excuse me, oh my gosh, $700 each total for us to fly there and back. So that is a really good price. When you start looking at the pricing of like one-way flights, because it's hard to do round trip, right, from Barcelona, you'd have to like train back or fly back to Barcelona. To do one-way flights there and back, they end up like just gouging you in the price. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So we're going to try it and we're going to see how it works. If we don't like it, then maybe we'll book our own airfare when it comes time for Iceland. But I would just recommend that you kind of just do a search, see what works for you, see what fits within the budgets. So there's a couple of different airlines. You can try Play, which is like a cheap Spirit Frontier like airline that flies from a couple of different places on the east coast of the States over to Iceland. So they're an actual like Iceland-based airline. And then coming back from Heathrow, when we flew on Delta, which ended up being Virgin, that was really nice too. So, or even Turkish Airways. But Turkish Airways, you'd have to go from Heathrow to Istanbul all the way back to where you're going. So that's probably not super convenient. But does Royal let me move to book cruises to you? Yeah, James, they do. So, and Pam answered that. Great question. Thanks, Pam, for answering that. You should be able to transfer it over to Josh. So, yeah, we actually had, there was a couple that we did a photo session for like 2 years ago, I think now. They're from Seattle, and they booked a cruise on Royal to do an Alaskan cruise, and they switched it over to us. So, yeah, you can definitely switch things out here and there. So, whew, oh boy, awesome. So thanks everybody for being here. You know, I think we're going to start wrapping up the stream because I did start a little bit early. And I encourage you guys to like leave us questions. The goal to really start building up a more like interactive and cohesive community that you know, we would love to see from you guys. You know, when we post on our community spot, like on our YouTube page, please take the time to like, you know, maybe give it a like or leave a comment, especially when we ask questions. So we'll be dropping a question on Wednesday or Thursday, which has to do with the cruise. And it would be awesome if you could drop some questions in there and ask us what you might like to see or what your thoughts are. It just helps us to, like, one, build engagement, and two, really create some different content, hopefully, in the future for you guys. So yeah, and on top of that, I have to throw it out there to maybe join our Patreon if you're interested in doing so. We've been doing, I think, a much better job of uploading content, specific content just for our patrons. So we just started a little podcast, which is super cool. I love it. Again, this is all stuff that, like, since we've made this change and kind of just like been able to clear our heads, it's been so nice to just do some new things and not have any, like, strings attached. So it's been really nice and great. So, but yeah, we will see you. The next video will probably be posted on Monday. It's going to be Oasis of the Seas. It'll probably be Sea Day activities. And I can't wait to share. I don't know how much I'm actually going to be able to share from our snorkel adventure. The snorkeling was really great, but Katelynne, if you are still in the chat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The drinks afterwards, like, I went back and watched the video, and I think my mom would just, she might die. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was so great. They got to relax and chill and just have a great time, and that's what is most important, even if they are going to be slightly embarrassed by it. But it was a lot of fun. So we're going to have some Royal Caribbean stuff coming out for you guys. We'll have some new stuff from our cruise next week coming out after that. We'll be mixing in a few Disney videos here and there. And yeah, so I hope that you guys like the new direction. Thank you for being here chatting with me. I really, truly appreciate this. This is just awesome for me to just be able to interact and answer questions and talk about just kind of whatever, you know. So we appreciate you guys so, so much out there watching and taking the time to hit that like button and leave us a comment. Those things really, really help us out a lot. So I will see you all in the